Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Banks, and we're in another episode of ThePowWow. We got my man AI coming in here in just a minute. He's out here helping out some customers. Which, if you guys have been a part of this or been down here on a Tuesday, you guys know that we go live in store on the podcast while the store is open, so people can come down, check it out. They can see what we're doing. If you got some interesting content, we might be able to pull you on if we have some time. But the whole reason that we do this is so that we have content to build inside the store, and it gives you more than just a reason to come down and shop, right? So you can come down, hang out, grab a glass of sangria, which I'm currently burping up right now. We went live on Instagram before we actually went live on Facebook. So anyone that was on Instagram got like a behind-the-scenes shot of like me getting ready and having to log in and do all that stuff, which is very cool. So if you want some behind-the-scenes footage, make sure you go to the Instagram. It's The Native Brand, all one word. Shout out to you guys on Instagram for checking in and being a part of this this a little bit early. But the reason why we go live in the store, we want this store to be for collectives or creators, right? So if you've got something going on, if you're an artist, if you want to have a podcast, we've got the equipment. We're in talks right now with a guy that just got a deal with iHeartRadio. So he needs a place to set up his podcast to do the series. And we're going to open the tables up for him so he can come down here and film in the store. He can have his fans pop down and be on the outside of the glass, and they can see everything going on, so they can say hi and the whole nine, which is really a nice part about having the podcast down here in the store, rather than having it like a studio. If you would have it somewhere in Kenwood, in like an office building, that's one of those things where you just can't let people come and go as they please. Here at the Levee, you're able just to grab a drink at Wooden Cask or over there at the Kon-Tiki Bar or any of these liquor spots around here. Beeline has been killing it down here as well. So you guys are able to come down here, grab a drink, walk around the entire Levee. You can bring the drink into the Native Brand if you want to. But or you can just sit down here. This table is just on the outside of this glass, so you can see what we got going on during the podcast, which is really cool, man. Like, a lot of people have never seen how a podcast is set up and how it's ran. There's a lot of pre-work to do. There's an entire soundboard here. We've got multiple 4K cameras. We've got 4 microphones. We've got 3 monitors. So we have a huge setup here. So if you guys want to come down and be a part of it or check it out, I'd love to see you. I'd love to say hi to you. There's free parking inside Newport on the Levee for the first hour. So you can come down here. You can park in the garage, grab whatever parking spot you want, come on up and spend 50 minutes or so to say hi, get your face involved in the podcast, and get back in the car and don't even have to spend a dime for parking, which is really cool. So that's a benefit that we have being down here at the Levee as well. So, man, if you're down here, Jay Sal's right across the gallery here. So we're inside the building now. I don't know if you guys were here when we had the store outside. It was a huge store outside, 4,000 square feet. It was a huge store, but we had a lot of back stock and other room for stuff there. So we actually downsized to 2,000 square feet, and we got to the point where we're able to take this store here and implement it in other cities. So basically just pick this version up, drop it in Atlanta, and then do 404 or 770s on the walls instead of the 513s and 859. Hey, what's going on, big dog? So that's the premise of the store, man. So a smaller store with a bigger footprint later on. That's what we're trying to shoot for. But we're inside the gallery now, which is very cool. So Jay Sal's right across the way in the trade market. So Trade's got a bunch of local stores and businesses in there. Sal's got a bunch of shoes. He's got jerseys. And, of course, he's got his J Sal brand as well. So stop down there and see us. He does a podcast, a sports podcast with AI every I think they record every Wednesday, and I think they upload it every Thursday. So, but it's going to be interesting, man, talking about sports this season. Right after the Bengals had their playoff streak, made it all the way to the Super Bowl, bro. Like, are you serious? It's still weird to even say or come out of my mouth. Like, when you talk playoffs, it's like, okay, yeah, we made it to the playoffs, but like, you get to say we made it to the Super Bowl. Like that in its own is super it's a rarity in its own, man. You know, the luck of the draw to actually get to that point is very cool. So, you know, we were on that high horse with the Bengals, and then as soon as the Bengals season ended, we're like, all right, let's go Reds, man. I'm ready for this Reds season. And all of a sudden, we started dropping players left and right, bro. And it's like, what is going on, man? Like, I thought we were already in the middle of a rebuild, right? We had all these young players that we brought in. And it's disheartening for sure, man, for all of us fans. I know you guys are out here really biting at your lip, saying, "Man, I really want to talk about this." If you guys want to get on the podcast, man, message us below. We can always get you guys on to speak your mind about Cincinnati related stuff, whether it be the Bengals, the Reds, you know, local eateries. You know, we've got a lot of cool things going on around the city as well that we need to talk about, not just sports. So. But regardless, man, I don't know what's going on with the Reds right now. You know, obviously they're not going to trade Joey Votto. He's the franchise player of the bunch. But you know, to me, I kind of feel like he's not past his prime, but he's over that hump, and we need to be looking at other people, not building something around him. No offense, Joey, if you're watching, man. I'm a huge fan of you, and I want to see you win, bro. And the fact that they keep rolling the dice with the people around you doesn't make sense to me. So I hope they get this worked out. You know, hopefully they got some money in their pocket and they see that the fans are really upset about everything going on. So they're gonna come out and say, all right, you know, we're gonna pick some wild cards out here to really shake it up for the Reds this year. Because you know, when you see other Sports Illustrateds and you know the other apps and Instagrams talking, where it's not just Reds, it's like national coverage, and they're talking about what are the Reds doing. It's definitely disheartening for sure. So, you know, hopefully they'll get that worked out, man. But we got a lot to talk about today. I know it looks like Andrew's going to be tied up for a minute with whatever he's doing. But I wanted to talk about price inflation, man, because I know he'll be able to chime in later on. But have you guys noticed that like chips, Starbursts, like everything is just getting just a little bit smaller these days, like, and that's crazy to think because, like, you know, I opened up the tube of Pringles the other day, and it was it felt light, like, you know, shaking it, going, okay, you know, this is a little iffy here, and I guessed it where it was. I like drew a little mark on it, open it up, and I was like, holy cow, bro, like I was even wrong, like it was even like less chips than what I thought. So I marked it off, and it was like literally underneath the Pringles logo. So the face itself, like the line was underneath the face on where the Pringles started in the can. So it was definitely like 8 to 10 Pringle chips were missing out of that tube or whatever you want to call it, man. It's not a bag of chips, but it blew my mind. And it was like, holy cow, dude, like I understand, like, you know, happening every once in a while, but it seems like everything I'm opening lately is just a little bit light. Like even the Starbursts seem like they've gotten smaller, like Milky Ways, like they've gotten smaller. You know, I swear they're only doing like, I remember growing up and having like 5 of the little muffins and like the Hostess muffin pack. Like I remember having 5 in a pack, and now they're only 4, and it's like mentally, like I'm on that 4th one, and I'm not ready to give it up, man. It's like I'm still waiting for that last one to eat. And I know it's not me, dude. I know I'm not just like seeing this and going. It's just my mind thinking I'm hungrier than what it is. So we actually did some research and found out that it is true, that inflation is a real thing, and that the chips have decreased by about 5 to 10 chips per bag, depending on the brands. Now, of course, Andrew's got the whole list of them all written down on his phone, and he's busy doing some other stuff. So I don't got any facts to pull up with you guys right now, which I wish I did, man. I need to be I need a Jamie. I need a fact checker. Somebody that can hop on the podcast and actually talk to these people. Whoever's hitting that heart button 1,000 times, I love you guys, man. I appreciate it, dude. It really makes it look like we know what we're doing on Instagram when there's a bunch of hearts all flying around. But we really need somebody on the back end. So if somebody wants to be a part of the podcast, man, and wants to, you know, we'll get a camera on you. We'll get you behind the scenes where you can be behind a computer and you can actually talk to the people that are commenting on Facebook and Instagram, because that's one of those things where we wanted to be more interactive with what's going on, right? Like we go live on Facebook, but it really wouldn't make sense to go live on Facebook if we weren't talking to the people that were watching us. So we want to be able to pull people on, whether you're on your phone, we can pull you up on, like a Facebook Live. We can do a double view, or we can just answer comments or questions that you guys have. So it's funny, man. We got kids that all pop in here and they're all like trying to look over, like, what's going on? What's he doing? That's something else, man. Oh, hold on. Actually, I've got a third camera view. There it is. So there's the other camera shot. If you're on Facebook, you can see the other camera shot, and that's the actual table there, and that's just me talking by my lonesome, dude. There's no one else here. So, all right. Well, what's going on? Gas prices are out of control. The world's just arguing with each other over what's going on, and at the same time, all we're doing. Dude, that dude's rocking a Vision Streetwear. He's rocking a Vision Streetwear hoodie, bro. That is so fire. Hey, that Vision Streetwear hoodie is dope, bro. Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, we need to grab drinks soon, man. I just got your sweatshirt on the live on the podcast, man. Yeah, appreciate it, bro. I'll talk to you soon, man. We'll link up. Dude, Vision Streetwear, man. So that's like an iconic brand from like the early '90s. That it's one of those things where they went away. They might have not have went away, right? Like Vision Streetwear was up there with like how Jinkos was big at one point, right? Like Vision Streetwear was way before Jinkos was. It was like 1990, 1991, 92 were like their big years. But it's crazy to like, cause I was just like I've been a fan of Vision Streetwear since the '90s, bro. And like everything comes back, 20 to 30 years later. So like now, like seeing him rock that, because I've been looking up Vision Streetwear stuff, and Skids actually. Now Skids has been sending me like text messages, like, hey, buy our pants. And it's funny because like every time we're driving down the road, so Skids was a company that made like plaid pants. They were basically like pajama pants, but they were made like for everyday wear. So it was like, they had pockets, they had a back pocket, and the logo was the actual Skid logo that you would see on the side of the highway. But it was like, they were baggier style, like. They were just nice pajama pants that you would wear during the daytime.
In public?
In public, yeah. They weren't pajama pants, but they had that same texture, that same feel.
Yeah.
And they're making a comeback, man. They're doing the same thing as Vision Streetwear, as Gecko. Gecko is another brand that's trying to make a comeback.
Really?
TNC Surf Designs. They're all trying to make that transition into like becoming the popular brand again, and it's cool seeing somebody like him rocking that, man, because that's another brand that I want to see win for sure.
Yeah, he's actually in the band 500 Miles to Memphis.
Oh yeah.
So his name's Kevin. Kevin Hogle. He's got a whole family of talented people. Tyler, Ryan, all the Hogles. They're super talented. They actually made Ocean Grid designs back in the day for us.
Oh,
so
dope.
we go way back with them, and he wants to do a collaboration with us at Native. So like
super dope.
Yeah, we just talking to him about that. So I talked to him, maybe even have him on the podcast. We do a whole episode with the 500 miles to Memphis guys, and I think we have a good relationship, make it happen. It'd be cool.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
And his wife has a killer hair salon.
Yeah, he was telling me about
man.
her too. She works at 2 different places.
She owns 2 different places. Yeah. Do or Die salon.
Do or Die.
So
yeah.
that's
super cool.
That's where Kaylin gets her hair done. So every time she's posting those pictures, man, where she's got these new hairdos, she goes like once a month and like she acts like I don't know the price of like of how much hair costs to get dyed, but she'll go out there and she'll get the ombre this month. The next month, she's like, I want to go dark this month. And then she's looking at her hair. She goes, I think I want to go light again. I'm like, every time you flip this switch is like $150, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
but
it's a straight bill.
But hey, but I get it, dude. It's it's one of those things where it's like self-care, bro. It's like you got to invest in yourself and you got to believe in yourself and get to those points where like spending money on to make yourself feel good
Mhm.
is well worth it in the long run,
Yep.
because it's self-care is tremendous, bro.
Yeah.
Like
It's part of the mental health. It's part of every day. You just like you take care of your car, just like you take care of your home. Your body is a temple, man. You have to make sure that you look right, you feel right. Everything becomes easier after that. Because if you're not feeling your best, it's hard to get motivated. Sometimes you're just like, man, what do I need to change? What little adjustment do I need to make? Do I need to get up a half an hour earlier? Do I need to clean? Do I need to do the laundry? Whatever, reset kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I if I'm feeling down, I vacuum. I will vacuum, and it makes after I'm done vacuum I have husky. Every time I vacuum that husky hair up, I'm like feeling good. Like this is a good start to the day.
for sure,
And it really
man.
helps. It's not necessarily physical, but it works on my mental health. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And that's the thing, man. Like that self-care, you don't realize that. Like we have friends that come in here and just vent to us. Like they come in and it's just it's 20 or 30 minutes of like, I can't deal with this shit anymore. Like,
Mhm.
and it's like, man, dude, like self-care, bro. Like
Self-care.
you really have to just make sure that your own mental state is good before you can start, depending on taking care of other people, bro.
Yep.
So, I today especially, man, I really wish that camera would have been just turned around. We have a third 4K camera right here for people on Facebook that we got towards the table, but man, it would have been really useful to use with everybody walking by earlier, waving and saying hi and trying to be a part of the podcast. So, anyways, I already talked a little bit about not the inflation in particular, but the fact that I'm missing chips out of my bags, bro.
Yes, chips out of the bags, out of the Pringles can.
So
Phew.
yeah, so I talked about that, but you had some like stats, right? You actually had like some stuff pulled up that was like like you were saying 5 to 10 chips are like missing out of every bag.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like I don't see any of these companies changing the ounce or weights of their packaging, because like that alone would offset the cost of what they're doing. Like if they're trying to like take 5 chips out of the bag to save on cost, if you've got to reprint all the bags to 3 ounces instead of 3.5 ounces, you're basically shooting yourself in the
Yeah,
foot.
there goes the cost.
Yeah.
You have to read. Yeah. According to this, it says on average 5 chips from each Doritos bag. 3 sheets of toilet paper on average is down. Wheat Thins have even lowered their amount, 2 ounces smaller, and all the prices haven't changed, if not gone higher. It's inflation, and everything is just becoming more air filled. Really, like
I mean, Pringles don't taste like Pringles either, bro. Like I remember them being a lot thicker than they used to.
Yeah,
Now they
I noticed
feel a
that
lot
too.
thinner. Like they almost taste generic, bro. Like
Do you think I'm not gonna notice? Is that?
I don't know,
I don't
man.
know
I don't know,
what's-
because
what's
like
their-
if you taste one of those Lay's Pringle style chips, like those are thick. Like they've got the
Yeah.
thickness to them, man. So like I
Yeah.
don't know if like they were both competing in that same airspace, and all of a sudden Pringles are like, oh, we need to cut back on some stuff. But the same thing with my my Pop-Tart post, bro. Like
Right.
I don't know what's going on, man.
I mean, I
Like,
opened
bought-
the Pop-Tarts and they were fine, so I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a little inconsistent. Maybe different factories, because they're obviously made in different factories depending on where they're made. So
for sure.
like, it just might be one of those things where
And that could have been, like I typically I buy all of my groceries at Kroger, right? So like that might have been a pack that I got at like Sam's in that like 4, like when they got like the 4-pack or
Yeah.
something. But it seems like that would have been a pack of Pop-Tarts that I would have bought from like Big Lots.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that.
The box I bought that was fine was from Walmart, actually. So I bought the Pop-Tarts at Walmart. They were on
And
sale.
then,
And
so
so-
it would have been Walmart or Kroger would have been the 2 places out,
where I
or
bought-
Sam's.
the recent ones, because you posted it, and I had just happened to buy a pack of Pop-Tarts for Charlie, and I opened them up, and it was just fine
Yeah.
from Walmart. But I mean, That's
it's
so
it's
strange.
fun. It's
Yeah.
funny that post backfired like that. Like I mean, it didn't backfire because it's not like I was trying to get people to not eat Pop-Tarts, but for
Right.
some reason, like everybody saw that nasty ass Pop-Tart and they were like, "Ooh, I need some Pop-Tarts." And like so, like I had like 3 people that were like, "Yo, like I went and got Pop-Tarts after I saw that
That's
post."
funny.
And
That's funny.
mine didn't look like that. It's like, oh, well, good for you, bro.
Right.
Yeah, because I just like I took one bite of mine and threw it away, bro. Like, and I'm sure it was just like mental. Like it was just like one of those things where like I just mentally didn't think it looked good, so I was worried about getting sick, or like my stomach's like, no, that doesn't taste right.
Doesn't taste right. Doesn't look right. Doesn't taste right.
Right. That's placebo effect's a real thing, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
I mean, food presentation is just as important as the food taste.
it is.
It is. If restaurants, they care. It's all about the presentation. Because if you bring out food and it may not smell the best, but if it looks great, people are like, "Oh, look at that!" Like I'm jumping right in. But like if it doesn't look good, they'll send it back, even if it tastes fine. Like it doesn't. That presentation though.
For sure.
Everything's about presentation.
It goes a long way, man. That's
it
for
does.
sure.
That's true.
So yeah, man, that definitely. I had one person that was like, "Oh, go ahead and contact Pop-Tarts. They'll send you like a bunch of free stuff for it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know,
Get some Pop-Tart swag, maybe.
yeah. Send me the
Instead of
T-shirt, bro.
Let's see
That's
what
what I want.
quality you got going there.
Bro, speaking of that, man, there was Mr. Bubbles, bro. So Mr. Bubbles has you can still send in like proof of purchases with this company, which is incredibly dope, bro. Like I want to get to the proof of purchase like point, even though like QR codes are a thing now, and like proof of purchases codes are like going definitely going to the wayside. Like I would love the fact that like bring in 40, like UPC codes, native UPC codes, and get a free T-shirt or something, right?
Oh yeah.
But Mr. Bubbles does that, and their logo, bro, or their motto for Mr. Bubbles is, and again, whoever's hitting all those hearts, man, I love you, appreciate it, man. Or woman, or she, or he, or
He,
all of them.
they, them.
But the where was I going with that?
Mr. Bubbles.
Mr. Bubbles, bro. The mod. Thank you. The motto is makes getting clean almost as much fun as getting dirty. Mr. Bubbles makes getting clean almost as much fun as getting dirty, and that was on their T-shirt. And I'm like, bro, that's the greatest motto.
It's a great motto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like because it's like kids. It makes sense for kids, and it makes sense for adults, bro.
Yeah.
Like the fact that that's like their motto, and like that's the shirt that they're giving away off of the proof of purchase things.
That's cool.
Genius, dude.
Genius for sure.
So
Take the steps to the proof of purchase and get yourself a dope shirt. That's sick.
yeah. So as of right now, like for native, like we just set up like a frequent flyer, like
Customer appreciation, like repeat customers.
yeah, like a membership where
Membership,
if you spend X amount, you get a free. It starts off with a free bumper sticker, then it goes all the way up to a 16 by 20 one of a kind piece of art that you can get for free. Not for free because it's all done on the point system for those. So like every $10 you spend here, you get 100 points, and then that'll get you to get some free swag from Native. So I'm excited about that, man. We're trying to change the ball a little bit and do stuff down here that's a little bit different than most companies, man. So we want to make sure that we're giving back to the community that's always given to us for sure. So what do you got going on, man? We're talking we talked quickly about the Reds. Now I wanted to get totally involved once you were here, bro, because this is
frustrating.
Yeah, especially after coming through such a high streak with the Bengals, man, going to the playoffs and making it to the Super Bowl, and then it's like, we're just ready for the Red season, man, and all of a sudden they just start dumping players, and it's like, all right, well, hopefully they've got a plan and they're just not dumping players just to get rid of them. But I'm worried, bro. Like I don't know what. They want to boycott. Like fans already want to boycott the Reds.
I know. That's what the talk's happening is that the Reds are in a constant rebuild, which is pretty much to start that off. The Reds are in a rebuild.
Sorry, bud.
You're good. All good. The Reds are in a constant rebuild since we can remember. And it's really disappointing because we've had some really solid teams that have had really good opportunity for playoff success. And over the years, we've seen get really close, get pretty close, and then rebuild, start over from scratch. All right, so outside of Votto, they just keep getting rid of players, and I feel bad for Votto, actually, now that I mention him, because he's just sitting and waiting for success, and his whole career has just been waiting for success, and that has got to be disheartening. If you go out, bust your ass every single day to go for a world championship, a World Series victory, whatever, and here they are trading away every player that's worth something, and like they do it right before the contract years, so they don't have to pay out players, trying to save a dime, and they end up not even getting a quarterback. And a lot of players that they've traded for over the years, whether it was the Johnny Cueto trade or whatever, these players aren't even relevant anymore.
Right. So elaborate on that, because you were talking about Johnny Cueto being traded for multiple
and players that aren't even playing.
They're not even in the league anymore.
Yeah. But if they're in the league, they're in minor leagues, or they're definitely not starting. They're just in where they're at. I'm not sure, but they're not a part of the team anymore. So it's like, come on, like if you're trading these players, for other players, get some quality talent back. I mean, if that means, because you're trading out for Cueto, he was a pitcher, obviously, so but we need pitching. Pitching's very, very important. And yes, we did get pitching in this recent trade. It doesn't mean it's going to be pitching that's going to save our team. It's just a pitcher. It's just a position player. Whether they're run of the mill or not, they're just not someone that's going to tilt things any certain way. It just basically like breaking even for us. But the Mariners, they receive players that are actually going to benefit their team, because we're getting rid of people that are on their way to a contract. And if you don't want to play players in the Major League Baseball, you're not going to win. There's no cap. We talked about there's no salary cap in baseball. So teams can literally buy themselves a World Series. I actually, when we were on the phone, I mentioned Aroldis Chapman earlier, and Aroldis Chapman left for the Yankees, and the Cubs rented him for a year, won a World Series, and then he went back. Like, it's one of those things where people don't understand quite how it works, because it's all about the tax on baseball. So the money that they spend is taxed if they go over the tax. But outside of the tax aspect, they can spend as much money as they possibly want and make the best team possible. And a team like the Reds, where we're the first baseball team, we have the first opening day, like the biggest opening day, like parade, and everything about the city is baseball. Football technically takes a back seat to baseball in the city, if you get down to it. And here we are looking at another rebuild year, and I don't know. It's really frustrating, because we were really all looking forward to this season after the Bengals made the Super Bowl. Maybe the Reds make the World Series this year, and that's like Cincinnati's really on the map.
Not only that, but it's like, you see, you're hoping that the Reds are going to follow suit. Not only that, like, okay, maybe they'll make it to the World Series, but okay, maybe they'll spend some money, and then because it's an ROI, man. At that point, like, you've already the sports, like the sports feeling is already in the air for Cincinnati after making it to the Super Bowl. Going from where we were to where we are. So you had all these fans that are hyped and ready to go, and then you could have. I mean, they still could technically. Like, while I was asking you, like, is there any players you think that they might be dumping all these to spend some money on some real big players? But at the end of the day, like, I don't see. You can't get rid of as many people as you did and grab one banger and think that that's going to offset the whole team. Like, I would rather have a solid team all around than one banger, just one guy that's going to be hitting home runs.
Baseball is definitely the ultimate team sport. I mean, football is too, of course, but you can't. Football can really.
Football is very dependent on a quarterback, right?
Yes, exactly.
Baseball is not dependent on a pitcher as much.
Yeah, the pitcher's important, but you got to have defense. You have to have the offense. You have to have hitters in order to get on the board. You know what I mean? You got to put runs up. Football yeah, quarterback's everything, but the quarterback has to throw to a solid wide receiver. Without Jamar Chase or T. Higgins this year, the Bengals aren't on the same level, right? So Joe Burrow can't do it alone. But baseball, if the pitcher behind the pitcher, the defense is weak or the hitting's weak, the pitcher can be great all day long. But if you can't put up runs, you're never going to win.
Right.
You got to be able to hit. So baseball is just because there's two sides to that coin. Where basketball, one player can tilt the scale. You can have one guy and he can carry a team. And I mean, it is the case with a lot of teams where one guy is the catalyst and there's just a few guys around him that are okay, but they're enough. But one guy can carry the scale. I mean, for the longest time, like obviously he's older now, but LeBron carried the scale room guys.
And for some reason, like the Reds seem to take those away at their prime. Like Todd Frazier was a huge fan favorite.
Yep. Puig.
Brandon Phillips, Puig, man.
Yeah.
Like these guys are like it's
Brandon Phillips, man.
Yeah, and it's more.
That just hurt. You just saying that.
It does, man.
Yeah.
I was talking to Kaylin last night about Brandon. She's like, "What's he doing?" I'm like, "He's playing AAA ball." She's like, "No, he's not." And I showed her his Instagram, and she's like, "There's no one even at the game."
Yeah.
But shout out to Brandon Phillips, bro, because he's co-owner in the Lexington team. So
Okay.
the Lexington Legends,
Cool.
He's co-owner and plays on the team.
There you are.
And he's still number 4, bro. So let's go with that.
Yeah, he's. I mean, when they get down to that, a lot of times they're just putting their time in to get back in the majors. Whether it's an injury, they get injured, and they're like, all right, you have to basically warm up with like a half a season. Then we'll bring you back up to the big leagues. But it's just putting in time for some of that. They don't really. A lot of those guys are still getting paid really well. They just have to put time in at a lower league till they're.
So what can the Reds do right now to gain confidence back in their fans? Because I'm already seeing people trying to boycott, saying that like, hey, let's not spend any money going to the Reds games, and this whole thing, which is insane to think, man. Because like you said, opening day, it's the biggest opening day in Major League, in Major League. So the fact that like the number one, quote unquote American baseball team is like, we want to boycott it, like that's not a good look.
New ownership.
So that's how they gotta change it.
I mean obviously they're not gonna sell the team. So if you can't do that, you gotta get a big name behind the plate, maybe a guy that's gonna hit third or fourth in the lineup, and then a pitcher that's lights out. If you get a pitcher that's lights out and the guy that can put some runs on the board, I think our city will turn around and they'll start attending games. People will attend the games, but I'm sure there's going to be a good portion that are really going to put through the boycott. You know what I mean? Like I think people are so hyped about the Bengals and they're so discouraged about the Reds that it might be that season where
we're waiting for Bengals.
Waiting for Bengals season. You know what I mean? Because we just picked up an O-lineman who was protecting Tom Brady.
Right.
If you're gonna, and he was very rarely on the ground. So like his white Bucks jersey is always white.
Right.
So like, and we just paid him $40 million a year, and the Buccaneers just re-signed their center for $39 million a year. So we're talking like industry standard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got the money he deserves, and he's a guard. And people usually talk about they talk about the offensive ends, the tackles and all that. But like a guard is just as important. Keeping that inside space is important for a quarterback to stay on his feet. And we're paying a guard, and it's worth it. His last name's Kappa, Cappa, if anyone wants to check it out. But he's solid. He protected Tom Brady, and now he's going to protect Joe Burrow. And I think we're going to have a solid season with Burrow staying on his feet. But we're talking Reds, and I don't see. Can we win 80 games? I don't know. That's a sad. I mean, there's going to be baseball teams winning 100 games this year, and we may not win 80. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's really disappointing for our city. Like you said, it's one of the biggest baseball towns in all of America. I mean, obviously the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs are a huge baseball franchise, but the Reds are just
right up there with them, for sure.
Right there with them, and we're looking like it's just a bad look. Pro teams should never be upfront about tanking, and losing games. I just think that's bad for sports.
It's
Sports
professional, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
sports
you're in the professional realm.
Yeah,
You know,
these
it
players
should
are
be.
can still get hurt. If a baseball player throws that ball and that hitter hits him right back in the face, it can kill him on instant.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that you're gonna put people's lives at risk and ensure that losing's gonna happen,
Right.
because just we're gonna get guys off the street that are gonna take minimum deals and we're just gonna live this way. That's just not. I don't know. It's not good for sport.
Yeah.
Not good for sport.
No, definitely not good. And you know, at least so they're getting rid of like the extra inning rule with the player on second, like
yeah,
that.
which
shit.
I agree with that.
Dude, that was literally the dumbest.
Yeah.
One of the dumbest things. Like
Yeah.
like, who would ever think that? I mean, I understand. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, when these games go 27 innings, it's like, holy shit. You know, like there's a lot at stake here. But who
Yeah.
the fuck are you to let a team get somebody on second base, bro? Like,
Right from the jump.
that's
At the-
crazy, man.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you've ever played baseball, you know how valuable first base is one thing, bro, but second base, you're
That's
halfway
scoring
home.
position. That's scoring position.
You're
That's
scoring
considered-
position.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're not only that, you know, you've got such a long lead from second to third because
Mhm.
there's nobody there, no one
Yep.
on base. That was the dumbest rule, bro.
Yeah.
Like when sports start to do shit like that, like I still don't understand why the NFL pushed the punt forward 10 yards. You know, so now like every punt is going
We mean
over the end zone,
kickoff.
the kickoff.
Kickoff, yeah. So like they did that to
Be-
alleviate
because
injury.
because the people were getting too fat. They were
Getting too
kipping
fast.
up too much speed when they
Yeah.
were hitting the player. So now you're just gonna let the kickers kick it into the end zone every single time.
Every time. Yep. And then there was a theory that there was a potential rule change that they were going to try to like add it to the kicker. If he were able to like kick it through the field goal post on the kicker, they would get points. That was a talk for a while. That's dumb, but like
That's dumb.
but like that's what they're talking about when you move it forward. The
Yeah.
guys can kick it through the field goal post now.
Right.
Like that's
That's-
now a conversation.
Leave that shit for the XFL, bro.
Right.
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like
But
leave that extra
doing
point.
too much of the kickers. Let the kickers be the kickers. Let the guys run down the field. We all understand the injuries are going to happen, but that's just part of the game. I also like baseball. Now so if you do double headers, it used to be 7-inning games. It wasn't 9-inning games for a
Mhm.
doubleheader. They moved it back to 9 innings to make it a full game. These are all the things the players want. That players wanted. That's why the lockout lasted so long, because all of the different rule changes and things that the players wanted to fix. They wanted baseball to go back to baseball, how it
Yeah.
is. Now we understand that the games, MLB games last an average of 3 hours and 10 minutes, which is a long game.
Yeah.
That is a long game. It's a long time to sit where baseball nothing happens. It's just part of the game. You'll go 9
But-
innings with no runs.
But they've been playing it for 100 years, bro.
Right.
Like why? Because kids'
Kids aren't
attention
into it?
spans
Yeah.
have gotten shorter, so
'Cause
you need to fucking
That's all
change
it
a
is.
game that's been around for 100 years.
Yeah.
That makes no sense,
Yeah.
bro.
You're never going to compete with the NBA because it's hard
If
to
you-
it's hard to get it's hard for kids to play baseball without people where you can get a basketball and a hoop and you can play by yourself.
You want to?
That's yeah.
I am not a commissioner for the major league, but I can tell you right now, 3 minutes into this conversation, I've fixed the answer. Instead of them doing all this dumb shit where it's 7 innings for double headers, and trying to make the game shorter, like why don't you just entertain the idiots that don't want to watch the game? You know what I mean? Like on the
Yeah.
jumbotron, like those.
Right.
Same thing when they have the Coney thing where it's like, guess what Coney the shit's in. Like,
Mhm.
maybe you can do a TikTok thing where, on the fifth inning, like instead of the seventh inning stretch, you got a 5th inning stretch where,
Yeah.
everybody upload their TikTok videos to this inside the
Right.
stadium, and we'll pick one, and then you'll win. You'll get to watch the rest of the game on these 4 seats right here by the club.
Yes. Yes.
There's a million ways to get around that without fucking putting somebody that didn't deserve to be on second on second,
base,
bro. Like,
right.
the
Just-
fact, like, that is the most aggravating thing. Like, you don't deserve to be on second. There's people that wait their entire lives to stand on that base, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and
And he's going to get credit for the going into home. He'll get full credit for
right,
scoring a
right,
run.
yeah, and the batter will get an RBI, the whole nine, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's so like I'm so glad they got rid of that, bro. Like,
yeah.
you know, and for me, bro, like the '90s, like I was a baseball fanatic, bro. Like when I was 10 years old, I had my own like small pup company, right? Where I was like, I was making $180 a week as a 10-year-old kid. So I was like, I was making serious cheddar, bro, back in the fucking, you know, back in the 1991, and I would go to the card shops and I would spend my money. I would buy baseball cards, bro. So like anything from like 1990 to 1993, like I had every baseball card, whether it was Donruss, Score, Topps, Stadium Club, you know, Skybox, like all those cards. It didn't matter. Like I've been going through them a lot recently. I even had ones that were like the Kellogg's cards that came off of like the Kellogg's cereal. Like, you know, you had to send your proof of purchase in, and you get like the Kellogg's pack of 20.
Yeah.
I've got them all, bro. Like I've got every baseball card that you could think of from 1990 to 1994.
That's dope.
Got a collection and I'm going through them, dude, and it's like I've been really like getting into the sports collectibles of the whole thing, man. And so cardboard cards, Topps was the last baseball card to use the cardboard.
Before they were like they're like shiny now, right?
So yeah, so like the Topps card, that the 40th anniversary was the last year for it. So the top of the card was shiny. It wasn't glossy like the Topps Stadium Club or the Skybox, like when those came out. But the back, it was cardboard. There was no gloss on it. It was like 2 or 3 tone color. And they actually, if you didn't take care of them, they bowed in your 5,000 pack of card thing. But those are like some of the most sought after cards, because like a lot of the sports collectors are saying like that was the end of the era.
Yeah, it was like the end of the era.
Yeah. So like after they did that, then they started getting better. Like Kodak got involved with like Topps Stadium Club. So Kodak was the ones that was developing all the photos, and like so they really went to like high def, and like it's crazy to think that there was like your grandpa could have been the guy that was taking photos of Magic Johnson on court for these basketball cards. You know what I mean? Like that card. Yeah, my dad took that photo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's cool.
That
like,
is cool.
And that I think that would be where the money's at, is the original prints. Like not like, you know, having the Ken Griffey rookie card, but like having the negative of the photo that like this was my photo. I took this.
That's
you know what I mean? Like bro, and like I keep thinking like outside the box like that. Like I really think business cards are gonna be valuable. Like, you know, having Jeff Bezos' business card. We talked about that, bro.
We talked about that, yeah.
I'd buy it.
Yeah. Elon Musk's. His
like,
business card went like
I don't know how much I would spend. Like I would have to realistically think about it, but I would definitely spend over $100 today. If somebody had Elon Musk's business card, I would spend over $100 just to buy it.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder what
somebody's got it. Like somebody over here on Instagram has Elon Musk. Actually, tag Elon Musk. I'll give you $100 for a business card. Let's go, dude. I think this is going to be a thing. I think it's going to be a real. I think it's going to be just like sports collecting, man. It's sports collecting on a real level. Like Jeff. Like I would love to have. Like, can you imagine having Apple fucking not Tim, but bro, why am I drawing a blank? He's like,
yeah, me too.
See, now everyone hates us right now. Goddamn Steve Jobs, bro. Like, imagine having Steve Jobs' business card from 1984.
Bill Gates, both.
You know what I'm saying? Like where it says Bill Gates, like office administrator, or like director of consumer. You know what I mean? Like, or even cooler, it'd be president.
Right.
You know what I mean? President, Apple Communications or something. It's like, damn, bro, like that's an original card.
Right.
That's what I'm on, bro.
Imagine what that's worth. Like, because
she's coming right in for something. She's looking something up.
How's it going? Good.
But yeah, bro, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for business cards. Elon Musk business card, Jeff Bezos business card. Tag them both below. I'll pay $100 for each business card. That's as much as I'm paying right now.
Yep.
We'll figure it out and see if the cards are worth anything later on.
Yeah, come in here and let's meet. We'll talk.
Right. All right, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about, bro? It's 7 o'clock right now. It's probably a good time to cut out.
Yeah. We got March Madness starting up at the end of this week, so a couple of days from now. So
yeah. How do you think UK is going to do well?
I do think UK is going to do well. I don't think these teams are prepared for Oscar Tshiebwe to rebound every ball under the sun. He really catches every ball. He grabs with two hands. He's forceful with it. No one can stop him. He's actually third all time in UK rebounds now. So I think we're going to do well. We've got some shooting. We've got a solid team. I think we can win it all.
Dope.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this tournament.
All right, everybody. Well, I guess that's going to wrap up another episode of the Powwow. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. So next week we're going to be going live out of the store again. If you want to be a part of it, if you have anything to talk about, or if you want to just come down and have a drink, we start around 5 o'clock every Tuesday. So appreciate you guys checking in. We're going to be getting some new sticker decals up on the wall. Duffified is sponsoring the podcast now, so we got some new stuff coming in. So shout out to Chef Brian Duffy.
Sir.
Love you. Appreciate you, man. And until next time, we'll see you on another episode of the Powwow.
Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
We're out of here.
Later.
All right. We'll go ahead. We're going to stop this. And we're still talking to the Instagram crew. So if you want to be a part of the behind the scenes, you're going to have to